Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Swordhaven. And this time I'm going to try to actually watch the clock a little bit instead of just playing for as long as I like. Okay, we're going to head into the temple and, center the camera, speak to a priest about this local god Darain who is worshipped in a abandoned shrine in an old cave near the village. Because that cave is occupied by some kind of nasty, dangerous lizard that we have been asked to deal with. The Waidlot shuts the old tome he is perusing, blimey, and gives you an inquisitive look. Welcome, child. I am Father Hercus, the religious steward of this community. How may I be of service? You know, that's a good question. Do you know what the deal is with Darain, this deity the locals worship? Well, he's exactly as thou described, a deity, or more specifically a fish god. After all, Darain literally translates to master of fishes from the native Slurium tongue. The people inhabiting these shores have always worshipped him, no matter their origin. And what is the dragon cult's stance on this practice? Even during the age of holy wars, when religious fervour was at an all-time high, the cult's attitude towards different gods and spirits was that of adoption rather than condemnation, very Roman. After all, most divine manifestations are considered to be sparks of the dragon fire. Do you take part in the veneration of Darain? My predecessor, the old Waidlot, did. I prefer to observe from a distance, respecting the local customs, but also reminding my flock to honour the dragon above any god, which they naturally do. Oh, of course. What? Do you study the natives of Nova Draconia? Forsooth, most locals dislike the Slurium, probably because of all the wars, but I find them a quite fascinating subject. What do you know of the barbarian religious rites? The Slurium revere supernatural entities they call Zahin Kuam. These beings are believed to inhabit all things, including forces of nature and different prominent sites, caves, groves, lakes, etc. The Zahin Kuam are worshipped at household fanes and aforesaid sacred places. There, the rituals are performed by shamans who organize sacrifices to whatever spirit is enshrined at that location. So you are a scholar of the barbarians, then? To a certain extent, yes. Why, do you wish to learn more about them? Oh, indeed, such knowledge could prove useful on my journeys. A commendable attitude. After all, ignorance is blissful only to the ignorant. You might want to visit the book emporium in Swordhaven's old quarter. Therein lies a copy of Historia Barbarica by Changal the Mad. Let's take a screenshot. As if anticipating your skepticism, he quickly adds, a bit unorthodox, I admit, but still an interesting read about this often overlooked subject. Indeed. And could you point me in the direction of Swordhaven? Certainly, he gestures for your map. It's, here it is. And what can you tell me about Changal the Mad? Changal the Mad Prophet, to be exact. He was an astronomer who lived in Swordhaven during the Third Barbarian War about 50 years ago. Before going insane, Changal mostly wrote treatises about stellar constellations, but also on ancient ruins, magical artifacts, and Slurium tribes. How did he go mad? From what I've read, he started to lose his mind after witnessing the famous comet of 851. He looks up. in the caliginous night sky over the Gulf of Swordhaven. We will remain silent. Verily, most of Changal's contemporaries reckoned the comet to be a foretoken of doom. But only our ill-starred astronomer feverishly studied it for his last few years before departing this life. He pauses, in quite a mysterious fashion. A mysterious fashion, you say? He shakes his head. Child, I beg thee to understand, 'tis all idle bavardage. The dragon's herald, prophet Shershet, wisely forbade us from spreading such frivolous falsities. Oh, look upon it as a myth or folktale, father. You said yourself that Changal lived quite a few years ago, so there's no harm in speaking about him. Very well. According to popular tattle, Changal was ripped to pieces in his own study, which was locked from the inside. He shrugs. Some say a weird lightning streaked through his window, some a blazing little demon. Reminds me a bit of the disappearance of... oh, what was his name? Aleister Crowley. They never did find his body. But mind, that's all common superstition, fable, and legend. No one alive today knows what really happened to the unfortunate scholar. Why are you so hesitant to believe these stories? Good question. Or we could just... we are playing a religious pilgrim, so... I see. Thank you for enlightening me, father. You're welcome. Now then, I believe we were talking about barbarian culture. Indeed we were. I appreciate you recommending that bookstore, by the way. My pleasure, child. He thinks it over briefly. Actually, I might have a little something to aid thee further. The Waidlot walks away with a spring in his step, returning less than a minute later with a thin hardback. My first Slorium phrasebook. It helped me learn the basics of their tongue. Hopefully it will aid thee as well. I seek a way to follow my... Let's show him the amulet. What can you tell me about this trinket? Oh my, it looks quite magical. But is it good magic or evil? I don't rightly know. Be very careful with this talisman, lest we accidentally forfeit thine soul. I'm sure thou or ye would have been more appropriate than thee there. Sorry, I'm too familiar with Elizabethan English from the King James Bible and all the Shakespeare plays. And it's when people attempt to use Elizabethan English and they slip up, it becomes very obvious. I seek a way to follow my calling as a Nova Draconian Waidlot. Can you help me, father? A noble wish, sister, but one I cannot easily grant. Oh, is there too many wannabe priests around here? Maintain a stoic silence. Why? None should know of this realm's holy places better than you. I am certain there are more expert Waidlots. He hesitates. Oh, very well. I do know one hallowed site that is seldom honoured by travellers. But first, tell me how you would describe the expansion of our faith in this barbaric land. We could describe it as a grueling slog, a glorious march, or say so many words come to mind, brother. And then he'll say, like what? It is a glorious march, slow and steady. He nods. We've conquered many souls for the greatness of our Lord Dragon, and will conquer many more. But what price do we pay for this numinous conquest? We could say, you tell me, we risk our lives. Let's skip the metaphors, brother. Imperial dinars? I'll say, you tell me. You've been at this longer than I have, and I could do with the Enlightenment. The price is not only danger to our corporeal well-being, but to our souls forby. He rests a hand on your shoulder. Yet I believe that to achieve the dragon's full enlightenment, it is not enough to simply meditate and be virtuous. Thou also needst to dare and venture into the unknown. That should have been needst instead of needest, due to the sentence structure. I could ask, have you ever dared, or just wait and imagine he'll tell me in a moment anyway. But are you ready for it? Father Hercus, I believe I am. Then listen closely. In the ancient forests of Nova Draconia, there once stood a temple dedicated to the celestial deities Sol and Menyo, called the Crescent Wall. I take it that it stands no more. It does not. We will nod and urge him to continue. Founded by the Order of Sword Brethren, it withstood almost a century of strife before it fell during the last barbarian war. The priests of Crescent Wall were no warriors, so when tribal raiders fell upon them like birds of prey, they could do nothing but submit to their fate. I pray they found salvation beyond the cycle of birth and rebirth in the blissful hills of Shamay. I'm just going to presume that accent over a C or S is a SH sound because it has been with the C's in the game's introduction. Father Hercus smiles and nods before continuing. It still stands among the dust and scattered bones, the ruins of Crescent Wall, overgrown, abandoned, devastated, but unbroken. Venture there, sister. Read the words carved upon the surviving altar. Pray before it, then verily shall your faith be fortified. Have you been there? I have. After moving to Nova Draconia, I visited the faraway villages of the native Slorium, learning their customs and teaching the dragon's wisdom. On my way back to civilization, I passed through the woods where Crescent Wall used to stand, and had a chance to meditate in its ruins. Great equanimity followed me for a whole month afterwards. Oh, most impressive! Let me mark it on your map. And there it is. Oh no! All these Elder Scrolls NPCs vandalising our map. It'll be completely useless if we give it to someone else and they have loads of looted treasure hoards listed all over it. What luck, says Gintar. Now we can make a proper pilgrimage to that most holy place and commemorate our safe arrival to this land. But, in the name of everything holy, Father Hercus continues, sister, remain vigilant during your journey. The wilds are teeming with monsters, both bestial and two-legged. You'd be wise to travel with a well-prepared company. Well, we do have Brother Gintar here with us, but even so, more wouldn't hurt. Did you ever attempt another journey? No, my duties as Wadelot kept me pretty busy. I see, and were the local tribes receptive of your proselytizing? Don't worry, I saw it said the tribals, which sounded a bit almost like a slur, so I wanted to be a bit cautious of that. I'd begun to propound the idea of a single primary source of divinity, but that was the wrong approach. A smarter choice would have been to describe the blessed hills of Shamay first. Then work my way to the finer details, the trials of the abyss, the prophets, and the enlightened. The heavenly keys, the abandonment of the 12 fetters. It seems obvious in hindsight. This is actually important. And I'm going to take another screenshot, because this will be relevant in the future, the order in which to introduce these topics, and it might not happen in this session, so I want to keep a little bit of a record to remind myself vaguely. I understand. I have other topics I wish to discuss, do I? No, I can just ask for questions, go back to that. I'm listening, sister. Well, you know what? I think I should probably be on my way now. I have enough to be getting on with. Farewell. May thy journey be filled with fortuity and enlightenment. Indeed, let us hope that is the case. And I do like all these stars around the walls. Kind of reminds me of school, actually. Yeah, we got sun and moon. I like the altar here, the dragon symbol. Oh, what's that? Something we can rob? Let's not do that. Oh, we can interact with this one, but not this one. Okay. Well, let's not interact with either of them. We're an upstanding member of the priesthood after all. And whatever is in that box is clearly intended for that location.
Nice and smooth.
Now, before we go much further, I do want to, you know, explore a little more of a map. Let's pick this. Go to here. I think that's about as far as we can go. Yep. And there is some kind of barn or large wooden hut. Oh, hello.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's attended, so who could this be? This young, round-backed individual is writing something on a wax tablet. He slowly raises his eyes and licks his lips before chuntering. Greetings, gentlewoman. Name's Danis, apprentice to Father Hercus, the wadelot of this village. May I be of assistance? Let's take a peek at his tablet. What are you writing? Oh, this? I'm just taking inventory, nothing special. Father Hercus prefers the temple's holdings to be thoroughly organised, another good reason for nothing to go missing. He shows you the beeswax-smeared wooden tablet, covered in barely legible symbols. The script is extremely tiny, probably to save on tablets. Let's read the tablet. While much of the script is legible, you manage to suss out a few lines, and it's nothing too exciting. Mostly tallies of grain bushels, dried fish, and other village goods. This place must be the temple's tithe storehouse. But wait, there's more. 1 pound of sulphur, 1 pound of magnesium, 1 granite chalice. You know that the chalice needs to be filled with powdered sulphur and magnesia, then set ablaze as part of the standard dragonfire ritual. You keep your dragonfire ingredients in the tithe storehouse? That's not exactly safe. Father Hercus says that it's more dangerous to keep them in the main house, where we have our hearth. Danis stops and looks you over. Finally, a change comes over his solemn expression. A smile. You guess that this is a rare occurrence. I knew it from the way you speak. You're a priestess. I have so many questions. Tell me, how long did it take you to earn your wadelot title? We could say we don't want to talk about that. We can lie and say, oh, it's just a few months, and we're just that good. You know, it was a while, but it was fun learning the ropes. I can imagine. Thank you, sister. Here, a little token of gratitude for reaffirming my beliefs. He hands you a few dried abol fruits. Now tell me, what do you recommend I do when I receive the sash? The path of the travelling preacher or that of the sedentary wadelot? Have you perchance had the pleasure of experiencing both these worlds since you started so young? I would say nothing beats travelling the world and preaching to those who need it most. Let the higher clergy decide such matters. We're all servants of the dragon. It seems he might be best suited to clerical work and staying behind, organising and keeping things, although maybe that's just the way he's being ordered about. Oh, don't make my mistake. Settle down and become a wadelot to a nice calm village. I've tried both. You should too when you have the time to decide. You know what? This is probably the best one for us to give as a priest. This is probably possibly the best one for him. Although most of the wandering priests are probably of the younger kind and then may settle down later on in life. You know what? Let the higher clergy decide such matters. We are all but servants of the dragon. Aye, 'tis sound advice. Thank you for your counsel, sister. So, How's your work been treating you? He shrugs. Someone has to do it. Besides, it lets me practice my shorthand writing. How does that teach you to be a Waidlot? Any Waidlot worth his salt is required to write a lot, as well as keep a strict tally of what their temple has, and what, if anything, is lacking. People need us to lead by example. Being tardy, unkempt, disorganized, these are qualities of a second-rate priest, and who needs that? In that case, you probably shouldn't travel the road very much. It tends to lead to being unkempt and dirty. Do you need any help? I'm great at numbers and reckoning. Apparently we're not great enough. Ah, thanks for the offer, but this is my chore and completing it is part of my education. He whispers to himself that, and I highly doubt you have the necessary knowledge. Oh, thank you very much, considering I've completed the training and you have not. I see. Well, it's time for me to go now. Thank you. Daenerys returns to his work, and we shall return to the world outside this building. It's all part of experiencing the world, learning what it's like here. What is this? This thing in midair. That shouldn't be flying. It's a log. It should probably be on the ground. A pouch of incense. Lots of feathers. Now why would there be so many feathers? Apart from the chickens, obviously. I mean, I'm thinking making arrows, maybe? Let's head in here. Because now that we're in the village proper, we should explore and have some fun. There's so many things to learn and experience. And here's a nice lady, let's go talk to her. Don't worry, I've got a pretty good idea what I'm doing, I'm just having fun. The woman squints as you approach. And who are you supposed to be? A lost soul searching for redemption? Well, lost souls are my husband's business. You can find him at his temple. Was that a sigh of impiety I just heard? I'll have you know I'm very pious. I've got every holy name, date, and prayer locked up right in here. She points at her temple. It's just that I've got a wee bit of a temper, and even the gods catch a piece of it sometimes, especially when... when what? Go on, my good woman, you can share with me. When I think about them too much, I guess. After my husband's sermons especially, there are things that make me question it all. And those questions aren't something you'd ask a Waidlot, especially if he's your husband, to explain. She gets a grip, mostly because they're stupid. Alright, that's enough talking, off you go. By which she means the questions are stupid, not the Waidlots. No question about the gods will disappoint me. Please feel free to probe my mind. Whatever is said shall stay between us. She thinks for a bit. Oh, what the hey? All I'm trying to say is that the lesser gods are, well, basically like us. Sure, they're wise and peaceful, but I know the sacred stories. They love and fight, laugh and cry, just like regular people. They even look like us mortals. Or, we look like them. She makes eye contact. You understand what I'm saying, right? We can nod, ask where this is going. I don't know where this is going, but I can already smell foul blasphemy, or go great big, where is this going? It makes sense, the gods being human-like. Why did they make us like they did? Because we were created in their image. Why do they help us? Because we share their passion, values, and vices? She pauses. But then there's the dragon. I mean no disrespect. I love him and worship him, and I share my life with his servant. It's just that sometimes seems like she's really struggling with her next words. What you're about to say is, it makes no sense that the gods are ruled by a dragon who lacks any ties to humans in either form or mind. Yes, exactly! Why is our faith centered around this creature? Why a dragon? If the most powerful god is a dragon, why aren't we all made in his image? I simply can't understand it. That's what Prophet Sherset said. Take it as gospel. Consider it one of life's enigmas. We could nod and say, I puzzle over all the same questions. I've yet to find one holy... No, we're a priestess. You needn't blame yourself. In fact, those are very common questions. We'll do our best to explain the conundrum. And somehow fail. Oh dear. Again, the tests are against static values. I don't think they're randomly rolled. You attempt to improvise something about the true nature of the gods, but since you have no idea what you're talking about, it soon degenerates into a series of ums, and well, you knows. Then you give up, absolutely defeated, apparently. Oof. I assumed you were a woman of the gods, or at least somewhat knowledge about them. A foolish mistake on my part. Well, let's leave off this subject, and if you don't have anything else to add, why don't you go about your charlatan's business elsewhere? What bloody hell? Well, I want to ask you a few more questions before I go. You've got to be kidding me, I don't have time for this. Okay, got it, some other time then. Go, but please keep what we discussed to yourself. That did not go as well as I'd hoped. I know it is possible to pass that test, but I'm not sure how. I also know that some of the tests got easier and some got harder during early access. I know there's one that I only passed once, then never again, despite creating characters with the same or better abilities. Who could this be? A young lass approaches you with an intrigued expression. Well met, good woman. Such a rare occasion it is to meet someone from the less unimportant parts of the world. And you're not just anybody. By the looks, I'd say you're a travelling nun from some exotic order, like the Utarians, here to proselytize for local heathens. No, sister, I am an anointed wadelot of the faith, not a nun, though proselytizing is in fact one of my duties. Ah, good to see my senses are as sharp as ever, and you're even more interesting than I'd hoped. Living proof that a wadelot doesn't have to settle for a shack in the middle of nowhere. But where are my manners? I'm Agne, daughter of Hercus, the village wadelot, and he's your colleague, obviously. Know that our home, humble though it may be, is always open to you. Even if you're simply looking for a chat, I will happily oblige. Sounds like you're not very fond of this place. Why is that? Oh, don't you see how dull this village is? She spreads her arms wide. A fishing hamlet in a forgotten corner of a barely colonised region of this dragon-forsaken land. You know, the dragon deals our lot in life according to his plan, and we must accept it, unless one wishes eternal damnation for the sin of pride. Oh, I've known that bit of scripture since childhood, but is this truly my lot? I believe it is my father's. He was the one to accept this assignment after the local wadelot died. But after that, and before that, I mean, well, oh, how different our life was. Back when we lived in Marbleheim, a large city on the mainland, I can still remember its paved streets. Oh, back then, not back when. I can still remember its paved streets and jasper spires. Every dragon day's sacred fires were lit in the giant braziers, and they would burn of all manner of colours till morning. Here, we burn cow dung for entertainment. After living like that, how can I not dream of escape? Where would you prefer to live? Swordhaven sounds like a bustling kind of place, but should my future husband be employed as a wadelot like my father, I'd convince him to seek a parish in a more civilized part of the world, preferably the Empire proper. A girl can dream. So you're planning to escape this place then, are you? Oh, I'm not so reckless. There shall be no escape for me except through marriage. Here's hoping Father will arrange a good match. Oh, I've heard enough. Let's leave it at that. Yes, let us. Can I ask you some more questions? A question for a question would be much more fun, like a gay little game. I'm dying to know more about goings-on outside the village. Her smile widens. You go first. All right. What do you do for a living? I work in the garden, clean and cook around the house, and pray to the dragon for an improvement in my fortunes. And what about you? Do you have a goal of some kind? You know, we'll tell her about our personal mission, whatever that may be. How daring! Converting heathens is so noble, though it does mean associating with those grimy monster men, huh? What can you disclose about this village? I already mentioned that it was extremely dull, didn't I? In that case, I don't have anything new to add. I'm sure it was dull back when the barbarians lived here, and the tradition has held true all through the years. My return question is this. What of the Empire? Can you tell me a tale from the mainland? Let's see if we can remember something interesting. The dim recesses of your mind produce an interesting anecdote. A miracle was recently recorded in one of the principalities. Oh, so after the high Wadelot of Blade Pass died, the statue of Prophet Noas cried bloody tears for 12 days? And there were several witnesses, including blind people? 'Tis truly a world of wonder that the dragon forged for us with his blazing breath. A blazing breath indeed, sister. Have you heard any rumours that would be worth my time? Oh, some of the folks in the village have a pretty colourful past. Take our old cooper, Zobun. He fought in an actual war and sports the scars to prove it. What I'd like to know is what people gossip about on the mainland. They must carry on about upcoming festivals or great gilded elephant parades. Could it even be that they finally invented a way for a man to fly? You know, there was a young lad at the gate who was asking about olifants and flying. Seems the two of you might have something in common. Oh, the news isn't as light-hearted as that. People mostly talk about the conflict between the Emperor and the rebellious princes, and never, or intelligence check. Sorry, intellect, rather. There's been talk about everything you mentioned, especially the amazing flying machine sketched by Loredan Giavino, the famous inventor. Ah, flutters her lashes in delight. It is just as I've heard. What marvels there are just beyond my grasp. People flying in the air. I can only imagine. Well, they aren't flying just yet. I suppose it's time for me to go. Come visit me any time you like. And indeed, we may need to do that at some point in the future. For now, though, we're going to pick a few more flowers. And then we're going to go and try and kill ourselves a lizard of some kind. Round the back of this hut, there is... ooh, anything? Not yet. A ledge we cannot traverse. A big bag, eh? Should we be taking from this? Hammer and nails? Actually, yes, we blatantly should. That is a... not a tool. Merely a weapon. And how does this hammer compare to the club wielded by Sir Gintar? 2 to 6... 4 to 6... 1, 8... It doesn't have a plus 2% confusion chance, but 2% is a very low number, and this is a good hammer. Let it strike well in the hands of the righteous, against the villains and knaves of this world, at least until we can find him something more appropriate. Yeah, he's literally coming at you. It's not even a claw hammer, you know. So, hold, villain! Bash! Who is this? Ah, the blacksmith's wife. We know her, yeah. Or rather, we're about to. The woman offers up a wan smile, her doleful eyes meeting yours only for a moment. Excuse my surly humour, kind woman. It ain't your fault. You're welcome to our village, especially if you need some smithing done. What's making you sad, good woman? Oh, 'tis nothing important. Don't pay me any mind. Ah, come, what is it? You can trust me. Ah, very well. Do you happen to know the old fiddler's ballad? No. 'Tis a long tale about an old man who lost everything he had to war except for his fiddle. He'd play it and cry day in and out, pouring all his heartache into the tunes. His songs were so poignant they drew the attention of the kindly people, so they whisked the poor fellow away to the mystical realm of Pocanki and tasked him with playing at their king's funeral. Were they really all that kind, given the ruby slippers we have in our possession? Briefly forgetting her sadness, she leans in to whisper, "Don't you know nothing? We speak of them with words meaning the opposite of what they really are. That befogs the wee blasties." I see. Have you seen them yourself? No, thank the gods, and I've heard plenty of stories about their crooked ways from people I trust. I understand. Do continue. Strange is the night when black stars rise and eerie moons circle wicked skies, but the old fiddler fiddled through it all, bringing tears to the kindly people's eyes and warming their evil little hearts. After the king was buried, the old man was returned to the real world, and not as he was, but as a healthy young lad, a boon from the grateful dead. Straj the minstrel sang me that ballad when he stayed in Clamreach. She sighs. Lately I can't help but ask myself, would I want to return to my youth and live it all again? If I understand correctly, the old fiddler wasn't sent back to the days of his youth. He just got younger. Oh, you're a sharp one, ain't you? I suppose you're right. It's never said that they sent him back in time. It's just that in most tales, time travel is the only thing the kindly people muck about with. Playfully have fun with, she says, in case any of them happen to be listening. So, would you travel back in time if you could? Oh, I don't rightly know. Now, would I? And I'm asking as myself here, not as Gwyneth. Here's the thing. In my youth, there were good times and there were bad times. And I had hopes and dreams, some of which may have come to reality and some which would not. If I went back in time, here's the thing, right? I take the view of the novel The Strange Life of Ivan Osokin by, I can't remember, it's some Russian author or other. It's a story in which a man absolutely ruins his life and eventually, he gets in debt and all sorts of things. And he goes and visits a friend of his who is a stage magician and complains about everything and says, "Oh, this is absolutely terrible. If I could go back in time, I'd do everything differently." And the magician says, "No, you wouldn't." And he says, "Yeah, if I could go back in time, I'd do everything differently." And the magician says, "Tell you what, I'll send you back in time, and you won't do anything differently." And he goes back in time, and because he is himself in the past and hasn't experienced the future yet, he has no memories of it, because it's not the future version of him that goes back in time, it's his life essence, his consciousness center. He goes back to that point of time in his life. And he goes for it all again, makes all the same mistakes, messes everything up, goes back to the stage magician, who sends him back again, and again, and again. And after 3 or 4 or 5 times, he starts to begin to realize, getting this sense of deja vu. And eventually, at the very end of the novel, he ends up again back at the stage magician, again, after numerous attempts. And he says, "If I'd go back in time, I'd do everything differently." And the magician says, "No, you wouldn't. You'd do it exactly the same as before, because not because the past has happened, but because the future hasn't happened yet, and you would be you with no future knowledge, and you would behave the same way, act the same way in those situations." And he says, "You know what? I think you're right. I think actually the last time he comes from Magician, he realizes what's been going on. And he says, you know what? If I go back in time, I'll just keep repeating the same mistakes. It's better if I just move forward with my life and find a way to live with what I got left with this situation and, you know, heal my life, improve myself. And Magician says, yes, that's the correct answer. That's what you should do. And so he leaves and doesn't go back in time and experiencing the loop anymore. So if I went back in time, I wouldn't know that I'd gone back in time. I would be me in the same situations, because all those other people and events and things, they'd remain the same. And while they're, you know, and I'd basically do the same, and I'd just go through the whole thing all over again and get back to this point. So now that I have been through those bad and disappointing experiences, I have knowledge and understanding. I have learned from those experiences. I mean, I've learned more from some than others. But that would hopefully help me moving forwards with my life. So I don't think I would go back in time. And I think Gwyneth, as a devout member of the church, might take a very similar mental approach to this. The blacksmith's wife says, oh, that's probably wise. After all, the dragon takes the memories of our past incarnations for a reason, so that we cherish every one of our lives like it was the only one we'd ever get. Of course. Can I ask some other questions? Oh, I'm much too busy for idle chit-chat right now. She says after all that lot. Why don't you mosey on over to my husband's smithy? I'm sure he'll entertain you with all manner of prattle while you peruse his wares. Oh, at least tell me your name, my lady. The name's Mila, darling. Don't wear it out. A pleasure. Well, it's time for me to go. I'm sure we'll see her again at some point. Be good, and if you can't be good, be careful. Oh, that's a good one, that.
I'll do it.
If you can't be good, be careful. I could stop in the inn and hear a little more gossip about that bard the blacksmith's wife mentioned, but I'm not going to do that. I believe I've already drunk from the well, so let's just leave it for now. We'll go down to the cave, then we'll come back up, visit the blacksmiths, and see how things go from there. And I've already forgotten when I started recording, so I'm looking at the clock now going, okay, I've got a rough idea, and we'll just, like, slap another 3/4 of an hour on it, or, you know, until we get to a good stopping point. Whatever works, you know. If I end up recording for a long time and enjoying myself, that's great too. Now, I don't want to be too adventurous here. We did find that skeleton around here, didn't we? Earlier. Again, this looks a little like encounter bait, so let's be careful. Was this the skeleton? No, never mind. It was here, wasn't it? Somewhere by trees. Anyway, let's... I have a reason for... Oh, there it is, right there. I have a reason for not straying too far from the path just yet. And that reason is that we are only two and ill-prepared for misfortune. And there may be a great many dangers around, and also we're going to get a little more help in the future to deal with those sort of things after we've dealt with this nasty lizard situation. Let's meander along the shore to see if we can step ever so slightly further and fill in that gap a little. Seems to not be the case. But let us explore this bit of woodland. And oh, look at this great big grassy mound. Our shovel broke. I have never experienced that happening before at all. In very late early access, shortly before the game released, shovels broke 100% of the time, but I wasn't using one at the time, but it was reported as a bug. Apparently they're supposed to have something like a 10% chance of breaking, which I can live with that. I'll just have to get another one. So we got some money, an enamel brooch, a silver ring, and a copper ingot for crafting. We'll take all those things
I'm on it.
and continue with our exploration.
What's over there?
Oh ho! Traps have been laid around the mouth of this cave, presumably to keep the inhabitants within. Careful there, Gintar.
I think I found something.
I believe there are only 3 traps, but let's explore a little more. And we're going to need another spade soon.
Nice and smooth.
There's another blue shaft, we'll have that. And we're practically back at the starting beach. So let's turn about and go back to that cavern with the Shrine of Darain, which we now may have a little more information on how to worship reverently at. Okay.
Let courage be our lantern here.
Indeed, brother. Also, there's this strange blue fungus here, which glows strangely and reacts to our pressure. Oh, here comes the big queen skink, and she is nasty. Alright, well, we got a sword and we intend to use it. That's not ideal. Let's use it again. Maybe go sideways a little to try and assist Brother Gintar in closing in and giving a hard, resounding wallop with his hammer. Strike again, brother. Okay, well, we tried. The young are drawing near. Ow! That hurt a lot.
Oh no! I'm wounded!
I think we'd better use one of those weak healing potions. Should have probably dealt with the trouble first. And then just... We can't move anywhere. We're trapped. Brother Gintar, protect us. Brother Gintar to the rescue. Oh no, he won't. He'll just go to here then and be bait. Here come the little uns. Ow, nasty. But we'll be able to drink from a well in a bit. A few hours, maybe. Let's strike at this nasty little thing. There we go. Crush it with the hammer and see if we can confuse this one. Yes! Its state of confusion will now never end. Or we could say it's not confused anymore. There's some strange lizard meat and I presume some more. Occasionally with teeth added. There we go. Right. There is a chest containing a mortar and pestle, which are used for crafting. A yawara, which is some kind of... It's like a belaying pin, just something to smack people with. Bone statuette, some hogweed, and some copper bolts, in case anyone ever gets a crossbow.
Quickly now.
As the ordained member of the party, it's probably best Gintar doesn't do this, so let's interact with this. You come across a toppled idol in the shape of a vaguely humanoid figure. It's probably some regional deity, but even you don't know which one, even though they've blatantly told us numerous times. It doesn't look like a dragon shrine. What do you think, sister? Let's examine the idol. Its features have been worn down by generations of believers touching it. Many shells and fish bones are scattered on the ground, no doubt the remnants of sacrificial offerings. Seems like this cave shrine was still recently in use. Let's pray. Perhaps we should give an offering of shells or fish bones. To whom and what would you ask for anyway? You don't know the first thing about this local deity. We know this is Darain, who is worshipped by fishermen and maybe fishmongers. With nothing else to capture your interests here, you decide to leave. I don't know if we can return and offer prayer here at some point.
Okay.
It's a bit mysterious. And we require a new digging implement, which will seriously eat into our funds, I imagine. Especially if we have to just craft it and can't find one for sale anywhere. For now, though, we have vanquished the foul lizard queen and her children. The offspring shall torture the village no more. No longer shall the villagers be denied their place of worship. We should return and tell the young lad at the gates. And then see what new adventurous options await us. And there will be adventurous options, don't you worry.
I'm on it.
A little concerned about Gintar's health. I would like to obtain some kind of defensive items to ensure his survivability. It's going to take us a little while to build up the supplies for that, though. Bear in mind that if we didn't have the supporter DLC items, we wouldn't have these fine shields giving us some small modicum of protection. And our lives would be a little harder as a result. Now, the ruby slippers are great for making friends and influencing people, not so good necessarily for brutal combat. And the leather boots may serve us better in that endeavour. For now, though, a young fellow who likes stories of the faraway lands, you know, him and the young girl both like the idea of the Empire. They probably might not after they've gone and lived there for a while. A pious expression blooms on the village guard's face as you approach. Anything I can do for you, mistress? Well, about that nasty lizard business. Aye? The lizard in the cave has been slain. Dragon's breath! I think I need to see this to believe it. Stay right here, mistress. Wide-eyed and emboldened by sudden hope, the lad darts off in the direction of the beach. Before you've even had time to get bored, he comes racing back. Phew! Let me catch my breath. He takes a moment. Aye, that nasty critter is dead, just like you told me. You're a proper monster slayer in the flesh. Yeah, sure. You're going to come here, what, be mysteriously silent. Oh, please, I don't deserve such high praise. It was the will of the dragon that I succeed, after all. No, you do. That's one less headache for our poor village. I can solve your other headaches, you know. Let me think for a moment. You best talk to my pa, Dorno the Elder, about that. He'll also reward you for dealing with them vile lizards. You can find our house after the first junction, right across from the tavern. I'll go look for him then. Aye, take care, mistress. Let's go to that house just across the way from the tavern. You know what? We can probably speak to that lady who's standing by the well now, too. Don't want to keep her waiting too long. When you come across this rosy-cheeked woman, she's humming a delightful little tune. Na, 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 na. Oh, didn't see you there. Well met, dear. Hail, you seem quite cheery, if you don't mind the observation. 'Tis true, I'm content, and it's all thanks to Loima's bell. What's Loima's bell? It's a holy relic we keep down at the graveyard. If you ring it, and the next day the weather's bonny, that means you're favoured by the gods, and all things will come your way until the end of the season. But if it's gloomy and rainy, that's a bad sign. She shakes her head and smiles. As you might have guessed, I recently rang it and got the best weather. You should ring it yourself sometime. What if I ring it during the end of days, when there will be no clouds, only the inky void of inescapable doom? Oh, dragon forbid, she makes a holy sign. If it's the end of days, I doubt you'll get so much as a smidgen of good luck, despite there being no clouds in the doom void above. You'd probably be stone dead before you even get a chance to ring it. Well, what if there's going to be an eclipse the next day, but the weather is otherwise good? As long as it don't rain, you should be fine. At least that's how the legend goes. What if I ring it in the depths of winter when it's too cold to rain? Then you should look for snowfall. If there's none, you'll be lucky. If it starts falling on the morrow, well, I'm sorry. What if the next day is clear and sunny, but with a light drizzle? Then your luck's going to be forced into the middle ground. If you're usually lucky, you'd become a tad less so for a while, but if you're the luckless sort, you'll have more of good things come your way, but not as much as you'd hoped for. What if I ring the bell during a terrible drought when rainfall would be lucky for everyone? If so, the magic of the bell will compensate for the rain by making your misfortune way worse. I see. Did you make that up just now? Gracious, of course not. I'm a respectable woman, after all. It's all in the legend, just like my nan told it, with every possible clause and exception included. Even something like, what if I fall dead from sunstroke that morn? Am I truly lucky then? The answer is yes, by the way. If you die from sunstroke, your good luck will be passed along to your closest friend or relative. But what if I have neither friends nor relatives? Then for 5 whole days you'll be transformed into a vengeful spirit with permission from the dragon himself to rain any kind of misery upon those who've wronged you in life. But what if the one who wronged me the most was myself? That's a rare one, but I think the legend had a rule about that too. Her brow wrinkles briefly in thought. Ah yes, in that case you'll be reborn as a queen and with shockingly good looks to boot. Oh, that sounds quite excellent. Understood. Well, it's high time I was on my way. She returns to what she was doing. Let's see if we can drink from the well. Not thirsty yet. Okay.
Fine, I'll do it.
Let's use the healing salve
By word and action,
rather than a
I
potion.
will serve.
It's slightly less effective,
Still,
but it'll help get him in good shape. And now we're looking for a house down here. This is not a house, it's some kind of barn. There's a young lad there chopping wood. Let's head into the very blue house. Quite a vibrant colour. Do we know this woman? We do. Hey, mind if I ask you a few questions? This woman is just beginning a song as you approach. Good goddess of night, goddess of fog, LIGO, reeds are rustling, flowers are whispering, LIGO. Hey there, traveller, mind if I ask you a few questions? I'm listening. What's your name, dear? Luckney. Luckney the Third, since it's the same name as me ma and nan. What can you tell me about this village, Luckney? It's a good place when there's no famine or pox, but if it's history you're after, you better ask my husband. He knows it by heart. And your husband is? The village headman. Do you have any local wisdom to share, Luckney? Of course, most know that if you drink from an animal's paw print in the exact start of the witching hour, you'll be cursed to walk the land twisted into that animal's shape. But the same happens when an animal drinks from a human footprint. You ask why are the woods still teeming with tribal bandits? They're all werebeasts, that's why. I see. Well, it's time for me to go. She returns to what she was doing.
Okay.
Again, insight into the culture of the world. It feels like a vibrant, living place. This burly, middle-aged man is staring grimly at a clay bottle of some local hooch. When you approach, he raises his head and greets you with a simple, "G'day." We'll point to the bottle. What's the occasion? No. Blessings of our Lord Dragon upon thee, commoner. A servant of them gods, eh? Well, welcome to Calmreach, sister. Let's point at the bottle. What's the occasion? Ah! He waves his hand. Life's be life. Can you tell me who's sovereign over this coast? That'd be the high-wade lot of Swordhaven. Us and all the other local villages are paying tithe to the dragon cult as is law and as all the faithful should. Other than that, everyone under His Holiness's rule are free men. Now as for folks living under the heel of them noble families, that'd be a different tale. The poor buggers are as skint as the temple's rats and can't even leave their homes without the law's permission. All in all, a miserable bunch. I'd say living for your master is a good lot. You have security, at least. Aye, mayhap if you're a serf, but us free folk live with our families and honour our lord, not because we have to, but because he protects and cares for us, and the dragon and his gods ordained. In other words, you honour your lord because you have to. He waves his hand. Enough about that. We all have our fate that Lima weaved. No point in discussing how things are, or how it should have been. You're Dorno the Elder, I take it. Your son sent me. Oh, mildly interested. What's that boy up to now? I've slain the lizard beasts that were plaguing your village. He told me to speak to you about it. You killed them buggers? Really? Enthusiasm seeps into his voice. That's a big weight off my shoulders. You've earned yourself a fat purse of 50 dinars, lass. Sounds good to me. Oh, I could have said keep the money. I'm a religious character after all. I probably should. Do you have any other problems around here? Aye, we do. He stares you down. What, you offering to help? Well, I wouldn't have asked otherwise, would I? Dorno the Elder exhales heavily before answering. Ivory doesn't trust you, or he considers the issues plaguing his village too weighty for a random pilgrim. So, I'm waiting. He nods. Listen, I'll be brief. There's 2 assignments that need doing. Killing a pack of wolves that's been pestering our cattle, and there's a gang of sodden barbarians who set up camp in the woods near the river. You can bet your boots that they're up to no good. Alright, I'll try to help. Good. Finding them wolves should be simple enough. They roam in the woods just after the bridge and to the west. Why don't the villagers kill them? We were about to, but then the barbarians showed up. Their camp is right next to the wolf den, and who knows, maybe they's in cahoots with those grey bastards. We'd be outnumbered if we went in and started a fight. I see. Now, on to those barbarians. They appeared about a week ago and told me our village was harbouring someone who's wronged them. Now, they're insisting we give them up to face tribal justice. But there's no one like that here, and that's exactly what I said. Yet they carry on at their camp spying on us, upsetting my people and scaring away caravans. Like the one the merchant is waiting for. This has gone on long enough. You go ahead and settle this matter in any way you see fit. Chase them away, fight them, just make them disappear. Do that, and you'll have everyone's gratitude. Do you have any idea who they're looking for? Wait, what can you tell me about these barbarians? Their tribe is not familiar to me. Still, I know enough to be wary of them. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate their kind. A barbarian can be a merchant, a healer, mayhap even a friend, but an armed barbarian can only be one thing. Dangerous. Do you have any idea who they're looking for? They say we're riding a vile killer who spilt the blood of their kin. Can you believe it? Of course, they didn't give us a name, nor even a good description of the fella. Are you absolutely sure that no one is hiding in the village? Yes. Lowers his gaze. At least not to my knowledge. Have they done anything else besides watching the village? At the moment, nay, thank the gods, but people here still remember the last barbarian war. We know the kind of villainy that's like to happen when a handful of armed barbarians pitch camp on your doorstep. Why not let them do a thorough search? Because if a bunch of armed individuals come into town and start breaking into people's houses and demanding to be allowed to, it's not going to look good, and some idiot is bound to respond badly, and it's all going to kick off. Letting armed thugs roam around the village searching for an imaginary criminal, that'd be pure lunacy. Fine, well, I'll see what I can do. Good. Allows himself a small smile. You can find their camp after the bridge to the east. I also suggest you speak with the villagers. I mean, who knows? Mayhap some drifter really did pass through Clamreach. He shrugs. Dobrel, the innkeeper, keeps tabs on going around the village, so he might have heard something. I doubt it, but you ought to check just to be sure. Alright, well, I'll be seeing you. Oh, before I forget, if you need any help, talk to my farmhand, Treniotta. He's gotten himself into a few scrapes lately, drinking and whoring near Swordhaven. It'd be good if you could teach the lad some manners. Now then, good luck to you. Indeed, let's go seek out this Treniotta. He was probably in the farmyard chopping wood. Where are you, lad? Oh. Ah, there he is. This broad-shouldered lad must be Treniotta, the headsman's farmhand, who you can temporarily recruit to your party. The hearty peasant waves at you with a toothy grin. Well met, fair maiden. He's not so subtly checking you out. I could slap him in the face. What? He's just having a look, right? Treniotta, your master said you could show me around the village. We could shrug, but remain silent. Oh, smile back. And well met to you too, good sir. The pleasure is all mine, lass, he blushes. You're heading to Swordhaven, right? Why are you asking? Just want to know your plans. The gosh darn roads are as dangerous as a drunken barbarian these days. Well, it's too bad. I do intend to visit Swordhaven. Then here's a piece of advice for you. Keep your ear to the ground out on the thoroughfare, where are gangs of ne'er-do-wells roving the countryside. They're mostly bark and no bite of course, but there's some real tough sons of churt. I'm not saying you're faint-hearted, but there's no shame in running if you're outmatched, he thinks a bit. Even if you can find a caravan going your way, it's much more fun to travel with good company. Well, do you know when the next caravan's leaving? Nope. Excuse me, lass, but things that being what they are, with bandits and monsters on the prowl, caravans are kind of scarce. Hopefully that'll change, though. Right. In that case, thanks for the advice. Not that I necessarily needed it, but good that he gave it all the same. No need to thank me, lass. That's how everyone should be. Clued up. Especially when it comes to one's safety. Hey, you're Treniotta, right? Your master said you could show me around the village. Wait, you seem preoccupied. Is there a lot of work in the village? Sure, there's work aplenty. You looking for a job? Perhaps, but not a peasant's job necessarily. I'd say try your luck killing those 2 big lizards down by the shore, but that grisly business ain't fit for a fair maid. Other than that, nothing comes to mind, sorry. Oh, I've done that already and we can't tell him. You're Treniotta, right? Your master said you could show me around the village. No way! Unless... Did he really? Yes, I agreed to help him with some of the local troubles. Ah, that explains it. He perks up. Gods be damned. Right, thank the gods. Farming is hard work, but I won't say no to stretching my shanks for a bit. You know, he also mentioned that you got up some mischief in Swordhaven. Care to tell me about it? Well, me and my mates from the local farmlands were out and about near Swordhaven. Had a whole afternoon to kill, so we went for a couple of pints in the tavern. That's when some towny roughnecks decided to try giving us a bit of hazing. Called us goat fondlers, inbred yokels, yada yada yada. Word for word, a fight broke out. Shite! If that was you being harassed, what would you do? Well, that's tricky. I mean, the dragon teaches us to be devout and worshipful. I'd beat him up. I'd probably make friends with him pretty easily. I do have the ruby slippers giving me plus 15 to persuasion. I'd politely ask for bully rooks to leave me be. Bully rooks, that's a new one. Endure and forgive, for they know not what they do. Sounds most religious. I tend not to drink among the peasantry. I'd slice the first one of them rogues who opened his mouth. Okay, yeah. I would endure and forgive, for they know not what they do. And let their abuse go unpunished? To my mind, they needed a lesson. So I punched one of them right in the kisser, and just like that, a brawl started. Fists flying, the innkeeper whacking everyone with a broom. A pig even got involved in the skirmish. But the only fellow the guards managed to grab and look up in the barn was, you guessed it, me. Why just you? I'd had a few too many ales before the whole mess started. The rest of the fellas evaporated right when the guards burst in, but I was too busy yelling threats and smashing things to pay them any heed. Did you manage to escape? Oh no. Good gracious, that's unlucky. You're telling me? They wanted to put me in the stocks, and you know what could happen when you're forced to kneel there for days, and worse. Nights, face down, arse up. I mean, I don't know personally, but I've heard stories. Bloody hell, man, that sounds a bit bad. Thankfully, the village elder bailed me out the next day. Gods bless that man. He was making a delivery to the Swordhaven fish market when he heard about my troubles and came rushing to help. Now, my only wish is to repay his kindness. You know, considering you probably had to compensate the innkeeper for the damage you caused, that could take a while. Yeah, I guess that's the old story. You still want to go? Yes, let's go. Let's do it. So this is Treniotta. He will accompany us for some time, and look, he's got 30 health, and actually, Treniotta is very near to level 2. And it's rare that we have more experience than him. Usually he has slightly more than us by the time he would join the party. He's a pretty solid, tough warrior type. He's got his hatchet, and that's it. He's got a shield splitter skill. He's a temporary companion. He cannot leave this area, but he can accompany us and assist us while we are within it. And that's probably a good idea. Right, we could go into the inn. You know what I should do before I forget I haven't done it yet? I should read this book from the priest, the Slorium Phrasebook. Greetings. Oratu Lano. Warm tear, both traditional greeting and farewell. Zurgaran narot bar berkina ak. I come with peace. Zoom izeni alon. What is your name? Koribut izeni akum. My name is Koribut. Business. Zalgai how? Is this for sale? Kult ken bat how? How much does it cost? Cold hard egg how? This is too expensive. So how isn't how. It's sale cost expensive. It's like money value transaction, right? To know how I will buy it. Zum eskaru ak. Thank you. Polite, thank you. Durum. My pleasure. Communication. Hitzo onagin dmiho ak. I speak your language a little. Zum dil ak. I will kill you. Zut dil ak. You want to kill me? Hil ezigin talgadu ak. Please don't kill me. The rest of the thin booklet is filled with other useful phrases, basic grammar and pronunciation. And we have gained a distinction. Rudimentary Slurium. You can speak a few key words and phrases in the tongue of the indigenous Nova Draconians. That will come in useful later on in conversation. Let's go kill some wolves before we end the episode. That seems like a nice, fun idea. It'll get us some experience, and you know what, we're actually not too far from leveling. It might be a lot of wolves to kill, but hey, it's all part of the fun. And the blacksmiths is there. Now, money, 121. We don't really have enough for anything particularly useful yet, as far as equipment goes. We'll be slightly better off trying to make our equipment. The economy's a bit buggered when it comes to the crafting. It's not easy to find equipment that we can use, that we need. We can make equipment that we can use, but doesn't have good resale values. The crafting tools have a durability that is used up. The amount of durability that is used is based on our crafting skill. So the higher our skill, the longer our tools will last. Hey wolves. Given the distance they moved, if they come at us again, they might only get one attack. It might be worth hanging back and letting them come. If we go to there, we're not going to have much left here. Let's fall back to here. Move the knight to here. And the farmhand to here. And let them come. They're likely to make a few attacks. Although, if they reach us without attacking at all, that's all the better. They are swarming him, and that is not good. Alright. Let's increase our accuracy and strike away. Oh, that's not ideal. Okay. Really? That's better. Okay, lad, you'd better do some serious killing, because otherwise you're in deep doo-doo. We've redirected one of the wolves. That is great. Because young Traniotta is tough, but he ain't got no armor on. Alright. Let's strike away with our rudimentary combat skills. And as far as this wolf's concerned, it is hammer time because we could not touch this a second time. Okay, axe attacks. And we don't quite have enough. Let's buy some time and encourage it to attack our other party members. Ooh. Alright. Should have used our sword skill there. It's okay. Let's get nearer to the second wolf. Hammer blow. Come on, you can do this. Good stuff. And move around this wolf here. Now, chop away. Your name is not Peter, so your chances aren't that great, but here comes the wolf, and it's very... Ow! Very deadly. Alright, lady, that's almost potion worthy, but for now, let's strike. There we go. And we will skin those wolves for some leather and take some of their teeth. We're not looking too great now. What's this? A dead something. Looks a bit like a sheep. Leather and meat, we'll take it. Oh, and I need a new shovel. I should remember that. I think there is another dig spot around here somewhere.
I've spotted something.
You have, indeed. Not the flies! Oh no! Flebber flies! I said we'd find out all about flebber flies. In fact, bloody hell. Okay, this is potion time. Flebber flies are disconcertingly hard to hit.
Come here. I need a new coat.
But perish rather easily when struck.
Fine. I'll do it.
Is this, No, okay. I was thinking of a different tree. Let's continue our exploration and have a care that we may need to... Darts. There is a tree somewhere around here with a crude basic spear and a, of all things, straw shield attached to it. This looks dangerous. Got to be on the lookout for more wolves, as we don't want to blunder into some kind of nasty ambush.
I'm at your disposal.
Okay, tell you what, you give a potion to him.
How could I help?
We've only got one healing potion left.
Quickly now.
We may need to go make some more.
Okay.
I think the spear and shield may have been removed. Or... Oh, hang on, whoa. Hogweed, we'll take that. Oh, many logs. Okay. Looks like we may be making something out of wood. And another woodcutter's axe. Excellent. Now, is this any different to his own? 2 to 10... Looks like it's basically the same. So we'll give that to our knight to carry, as he is skilled with hammers and axes. And he might want to develop some kind of axe-related skill in the future. Oh, we've got a bandage as well. A bandage removes bleeding and the wounded condition, but that's it. Let's go this way around the rock. We're not a ragged rascal, but... You know that one, right? You know that old tongue twister, round the ragged rock the rugged rascal ran. Yes. And there is the shield and spear. And you know what? We have a Treniotta. He has no shield yet. Now, this is like a straw mat, right? It's barely protective. But he may be able to obscure his body slightly so that enemy blows don't know exactly where to strike. Let's take this herb, as I believe it to be a common ingredient of healing potions,
I'm on it.
and continue our exploration of how low that looks like death. Hey, are you gonna, like, fight us or what? Oh, you're fighting, alright.
Keep it close.
Oh no! That wolf's going into a feeding frenzy. That cannot be good. Right. We have a potion of resilience. Let us drink our potion of resilience. Why, oh why, is our potion not... Oh well.
Let the hunters begin.
There we go. Now we've drunk our potion. And we should strike and back up. Alright. Let's not do our special attack because we could just kill this in one go. I said could. It didn't quite happen though, did it? Okay, let's step out to here. And then, Traniotta, could you go this way around the tree? Because we don't know where the wolves are likely to go. Yep, it's going to bite the knight. And the other one's going to join in. Third one too, probably. Ow! Oh, oh, oh! Alright, now that things are getting very serious... 8 action points or just attacking. Yeah, let's... Oh, not good. That's good. Can you blat it? Yes, you can. And even strike this one too while we're at it. Oh, not ideal. Okay. Oh, that's a shame. Try again. Much better. And how now, Sir Knight? This looks quite nasty. Oh, bugger! We'll have to fight on. Better than nothing. Traniotta, you better strike hard and true. And present an alternative target for this ferocious beast. Milady, if you could do the honours, that would be very much appreciated. Otherwise, we'll have to let this trusty farmhand do the job. Or not, as the case may be. They are ferocious beasts, after all. Well struck. And again, please. Excellent. Now, our knight has the wounded condition. This status may only be cured by bandages, and also I believe it leaves us vulnerable to death.
Yes.
Let us fix him up right now. And I've just realised I didn't need to use our bandages there because I might have been able to do something else. With that, however, we are grievously wounded and should be very, very cautious about future risks, including that space of ocean. Sod it, I think we're okay. We also want this potion effect to... It's got 2 hours to wear off. That's not good. You know what, though? We do have lots of... Sure. We have rested and recovered health, and also that nasty, stinky, smelly condition is gone. Let us... Okay, that's for road, that's all good. Let's avoid going too near the road just yet, because we want to stay this side of the bridge. And indeed, we should probably stay this side of the bridge for quite a while longer. Because it's dangerous over there, there's more wolves, and we are not ready to take on large numbers of wolves.
I'll do it.
Now would be a good time to start thinking about protective equipment. Okay, let's do just that. And spend a prohibitive amount of money. This little boy runs off yelling, "Dad, there's a stranger at the gates!" Makes me wonder if he's slightly Irish. And there's a little girl bombing along. Let's pick a flower and go in and meet the father of the family. This would be the husband of the blacksmith's wife. The burly yet limping blacksmith doesn't spare you a single glance. "If you're looking for armaments, lass, then you best look elsewhere." But what if I need a broken plough fixed? If it's farming tools or horseshoes or nails you're after, I can help. Well, let's look him up and down. Tall and broad-shouldered, with sun-scorched skin and bright hazel eyes, the blacksmith nonetheless has a noticeable limp. A work-related accident or something more nefarious? An old white scar, as if from a long blade marking him from his forehead to the side of his neck, points to the latter. That's a nasty scar you have. "Damn your eyes, it's a keepsake from me past," nurses his brow. "Don't ask. I won't answer anyway." By the look of it, I'd say you ran into... a sailor's cutlass? How did... Yes, whatever. As I said, it's a keepsake from my past, and it wasn't exactly a serene past, if you get my meaning. But enough about that. I'm a changed man now, and have been for quite a while now. And no, I still ain't answering any questions. Oh, come on, what are you hiding? Curiosity killed the cat. Fine, keep your secrets. Could you point me to a proper armory? I believe you'll find one somewhere in Swordhaven. Ah, what did I expect? This is a simple village smithy after all. Or, thank you, even though my mission is of the moral persuasion, it helps to know that I can still find instruments of self... Yeah, sure. Thank you. Even though my mission is of the moral persuasion, it helps to know where I can find instruments for self-defense. Are you a dragon priestess? My condolences then. The local savages are a stubborn bunch. Ah, listen, blacksmith. We both know you sell weapons. Show me what else you have in stock. Alright, you got me fair and square. He lowers his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. I have a little stash hidden away if you have the gold. Where do you get your weapons from? Some I make myself, some I buy from passing traders. You were reluctant to sell me weapons. Why is that? It's not that I don't want to sell them, it's just that weaponsmithing is hard work. Most folks buy arms in Swordhaven anyway, and in these parts one usually gets better coin making nails and horseshoes. But that's not all. He looks around. I'm also stockpiling weaponry. There's something in the wind, I tell you. A bilge-sucking tide is a-coming, and when it hits, even I am going to make a damn fortune selling swords and spears for twice the regular rate. Care to explain what this bilge-sucking tide entails? War, pestilence, famine, death, he shrugs, the usual suspects. Do you have a single fact to back that up? I heard talk about barbarian mercenaries gathering up north and noble folks arguing over them Baldur mines. He frowns. Also seen enough of this world to know this buzz ain't for your everyday jiggery pokery, but a part of something bigger. Besides, I feel it in my bones, especially when the weather's drafty. So, you're hoarding weapons to sell later at a higher price? Pretty much, yeah. Alright, let's ask about something else. Would you mind if I use your forge? You look capable enough. Very well. You work and I'll watch. Maybe I'll even learn some new techniques from you. Alright, but first, let me know what you're selling. Need a new Volge? We don't necessarily need a Volge. That's a Bardiche, anyway. A Volge is more like a sword on a stick with less of an offset of a blade. Anyway, right. Let's see. Early, we want a pair of scissors, believe it or not. For early crafting, mind you. We can part with this axe and club. And we need to be on the lookout for glue for sale. Also, we need a new shovel. Yeah. Ooh, good point. Right. Could sell the ring, the teeth. Let's sell the fangs off. But he's a skinflint, so we're better off hoarding some of these more valuable items for another trader. We're not going to get enough for what we want yet. We'll have to raise more money somehow. Maybe we can find some cheaper scissors elsewhere. We'll see. And take our leave. So, ooh, we got levels. Here we have the leatherworking bench and woodworking bench. We can make arrows and crossbow bolts. Arrows and crossbow bolts. We could make a leather cuirass if we had a draw knife, some leather strips, and glue. We need scissors for the leather strips. The draw knife is for wooden things. We could make... Draw knife would also allow us to make bolt and arrow shafts. Bow, crossbow, scissors for the leather strips. Yeah, okay. Long handle, medium handle, short handle, which are for weapons. We could make a draw knife and scissors and some glue. We could make a leather helm. This is probably where we want to begin. No draw knife required, just the scissors. Make ourselves some leather strips, get some glue. Now, the glue shortage is a big early game problem. We're going to run into a lack of available glue to purchase early on. And as you see here, armor is more about resistances than it is about some kind of straight up armor stat, which is interesting. We could make some torches. Shield. We'd want hammer, nails, glue. We got wood. And weapons, we need all the parts. So, for instance, for an axe, you'd need like a medium handle, axe head, hammer. For a mace, medium handle. For a dagger, we have a copper dagger blade. If we had a short handle and a cross-peen hammer, whatever cross-peen is, that'd be really good. Now, let's go look at the forge, which we'd obviously need a hammer for most of these things. Ammunition, weapon parts, which could be made with our copper. We could maybe make a dagger blade. We already have a copper dagger blade. We can make a spear tip. Other things would require more copper. And you see that the game conveniently displays the upcoming recipes for when our skill reaches the next sort of bracket, and then we can put weapons together here the same way we could at the wood and leatherwork bench. Now,
Okay.
there is another trader in town who sells crafting materials, and he might have slightly better prices, being a bit less stingy. But for now, we got some leveling up to do. So, Treniotta. He chops with his axe, and he chops very well. He's also not really going to do very much while we're here, so we're just going to put all his points in this, as he's going to leave before we get to do anything else. And he we'll get a new skill. We could go Savage Roar, get a higher chance to deal the weapon's maximum damage. Not greater weapon accuracy, mind you. Choke and Chop. Stamina point cost plus 25%. You attack thrice, dealing 25% less weapon damage. Attack increases your chance to hit by minus 15% of its current value. So, minus 15% to hit, minus 25% weapon damage, but free attacks for only 125% stamina cost instead of 300% stamina cost. Good skill then. Or Controlled Rage. Deal maximum weapon damage. Deal 20% more damage for 2 turns. Receives 25% more damage during the next 2 turns as well, though. Let's go Choke and Chop. There we go. And accept. To add the new ability to your belt, you must first open your inventory by pressing the UI button, refer to a picture, or using the designated hotkey. So, we will use the designated hotkey because, hey, why not? First, click on the Abilities tab, refer to the picture, then left-click on the new ability with the left mouse button and drag and drop it onto your belt, refer to the picture. Well, guess what? Here's an ability. It's going on the belt. There we go. And, of course, Lady Gwyneth herself is also gaining a level. Now, as she's going to be in the party for the whole game, we're going to be a little bit more circumspect with how we spend our points. Let's put a few points in bladed weapons. We want bladed weapons, persuasion. I'm going to put a couple of points into crafting, 1 into medicine, another 1 into stealth because we're going to need it a bit later on, 2 more in persuasion. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, now actually, we're going to want level 50 bladed weapons by level 4, aren't we? Yeah, to unlock the next tier of weapon abilities. So let's go 1 more for a 37. Our intimidation is dreadful, but let's go 1 point in persuasion. Another point in crafting, because while we won't need a very good crafting skill after about level 3, between level 2 and level 3 we would really benefit from having a crafting skill. And as we're doing sword skills, let's take On Guard, the one that increases our parry chance and provokes the target. And then we will place our skill on our hotbar, so, and swap it over. And Gintar requires 219 experience points to level. It's going to take him a little bit of a while, but when he does, I'm sure he will be ever so useful to us. Let's meander up this path and map out the area around this building. Oh, whoa, child, slow down. Don't think that just because I'm small I can't fight, she brandishes her skinned knuckles. Fair enough, little girl, you keep running. There's a chap with a red hat and a blue jacket, and we probably want to speak to him. Oh, you're a bit more controlled. The boy frowns. I don't know you and I don't want to know you. Fair enough. This chap is the man we wish to speak to. The peasant is whittling a long piece of wood. Without taking his eyes off his carving knife, he smirks. You look like someone fresh off the boat. I'm Juva, the fisher, and I doubt you have any business with me. Oh, who knows? Is that a fishing rod you're crafting? Nay, lass, I do my fishing with a net. This, he looks at the stick, this is just a pastime of mine. Oh, a hobby? How charming. No, tell me more. What more is there to tell? The thing I'm whittling here is going to be a bow one day. That's it. Ah, useful pursuit. Why a bow, though? Got a soft spot for 'em. Don't know why. And crossbows. Do you ever make those? Nay, those things are mechanisms and such. Way too much going on for my simple tastes. Your bows any good? Not a soul I sold 'em to came back whining. Can't remember anyone singing my praises either. He shrugs. Guess that makes them adequate. Does that mean you sell your crafts? If I made 'em, aye. Why not? A few spare dinars never hurt anybody. I see. Zhuva loudly clears his throat and spits to one side. Ever seen anything strange around the village? Strange? No, I don't think so. Why do you ask? Well, there's a whole gang of barbarians camped by the river. They think someone here is harbouring a killer. Oh? Well, you know how barbarians are. Cheats and liars, all of them. Right. Well, how did you know I wasn't a local? It's pretty obvious. Looks you over more closely this time. You're from the blimmin' Empire, right? Last time I checked, Nova Draconia was part of this blimmin' Empire. In some dusty old legal scrolls, probably. In the actual world, forget about it. Doesn't sound like you have much love for the mainland. Don't get me started. They done did my brother dirty, and that's not something I'm ever gonna forgive. Your brother, you say? Is there an echo round here? Oi, my brother! The whole Empire did him dirty? Oh, alright, and just tell me more. That boy sure loved travelling Nova Draconia. One day his work as a caravan guard took him to the Swordhaven docks where a mercenary captain was looking for able men to join his band. Said there were proper money to be made working for some pompous fop down in the old country. Pshaw, the very idea. Who was this pompous fop? I don't know. Some prince or viscount or whatever. A git, basically. What's your brother's name? He stops himself short. Why do you want to know? I'm not telling you that. Why? Is it a secret? It is to you. Fair enough. Well, his plan was risky, to say the least. I wish my brother was as smart, because that dunderhead fell for it root and branch. And when their ship sailed from the Gulf of Swordhaven with a bunch of young gadabouts on board, that was the last we ever heard of him. Who knows? Maybe he's alive and well. Later I learned he'd been drafted to fight in an uprising. On which side? That I don't know. What I do know is that those mutineers who didn't die on the battlefield were branded and sent either to the salt ponds of Hydrake or the dreaded Baldur mines. I thought you just said that after he got on the ship you didn't hear anything more about him. A gruesome fate, and for what? Money? Fame? He waves his hand. He had a girl who loved him. A real home. Could have been a respected fishmonger. Ah, wasted life. Oh, don't say that. Maybe your brother achieved exactly what he had hoped for. Nay, he didn't. Quickly adds, I mean, what are the chances? You know what war's like, nothing but a bloodbath. Aye, he shakes his head, enough about that. That story wasn't meant for strangers' ears. Alright, well look, I'm in the market for some bows. Try your luck. People say I'm pretty good at bowyering. Sometimes Zhuva has glue for sale. He does not have scissors for sale, so we're stuck with the blacksmith's price, which we cannot yet afford. That is unfortunate. Hemp bowstring, nettle bowstring. From my understanding, we cannot craft nettle bowstrings, which are required to craft the most basic bows. But we're not trying to build a bow just yet. Let's sell him this staff. Oh, and check these prices. 3,923. I think these are even lower than the blacksmiths. That's not a staff, is it? It's a club. Oh, that's a staff. There we go. Right. Are we done? Yes, I'll be going now. The fisherman follows you with a suspicious eye. From what I recall, the fisherman and blacksmiths trade inventories update every few days. Not that we can generally afford to stay here that long. At the moment, we just got to be careful and try not to die. But hey, I think I'll take a little look outside town on this side. You know what? I could have asked for blacksmith if he'd noticed anything unusual. I probably should, because I should be investigating. See if there's anyone strange around here. For now, though, I reckon I'm going to end this episode here. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. I'll say goodbye for now, though, and cheerio, everyone. Look forward to seeing you all in Nova Draconia again sometime soon.